Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. In the last episode I asked if you'd like to see something technical. Lots of people said yes. We haven't done something technical for a while. And we are over here at the sheep farm. The sheep farm has a problem. We have lots of wool and all it does is sit in these chests. So I think what we should do is use some redstone to move the items to our base, which we can't see from over here. It's off in that direction. So I've been AFKing here with my shears, standing in the station.
Oi! Hello? Can you hear me? Hey, yes.
And now that we have lots of wool,
I want my show back. Oi! Yes, there we go. Hey, hi. Jeez. What was all that about? Hang on a second. Let's turn off this nonsense. You go AFK at your wool farm for a moment and assume a 2010 comes back. What's up with that, eh? What's up with that? And, oh yeah, oi! I want my widescreen back. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. Jeez, it's back to 2017. Thank goodness I've had enough of that. And all those comments, eh? All those comments. Assuming, well, what are you doing for episode 650? Is it a special? I'll tell you what, it's not a special, but episode 666 is coming up. You better beware, because something evil is going to happen, I'll tell you. Something evil. But it's not episode 666, it's episode 650, which is always a nice landmark. We always like those 50s and 100s, don't we? But, as I said, nothing special today. However, as in the intro, the 2010 intro, we decided that we're going to be working on this sheep farm. We've got a little bit of a problem over here. We want to get technical. We want to do some redstone. And actually, we're not going to use a lot of redstone itself. You see, we are going to be moving the items from this wool farm using ice streams and water, right? So there's never a lot of redstone actually involved in that, although it is kind of technical. Now, what I've been doing is some research and some preparation. If I press F3 and G, you're going to see some yellow boxes. These shows us where the chunks are in the game, and when you're standing in one area, it's going to be loading up other chunks around you. When we're over here at the wool farm, we're standing in this chunk, and I needed to know how many chunks it was to that area over here. So, let's get our rocket, let's take up into the sky. You might be counting these chunks as we fly through them. I've already done all of that. The distance is, I think, 10 to the one that we want, and if not, that's absolutely fine. So the way that chunk loading works, I believe, is that you have the player standing in one chunk, and then the render distance, let's say it's 2, means 2 blocks in each direction all around it are going to be loaded. And I said blocks, and what I meant to say was chunks. So if it is 10, then it leads us to this chunk right here, which we're standing in. So that'll be loaded when we're over there at the wool farm. But it turns out that the server's distance is 12, which gives us more than enough. However, you'll see that inside of this 10th chunk outwards from the wool farm is where we have these hoppers here, where we put our shulker boxes leading into the part that sorts out the wool. So that's kind of perfect. It means if for whatever reason we have to lower it to 10, it will still work. If it were outside of the chunk that I just showed you, then we'd run into problems. So over the back here, we're going to bring the items up here, and then we're going to have a water stream and ice going across over into those hoppers, and it's going to be so easy. So down the bottom here, we'll build a simple item elevator, and you can see I've dug out a tunnel. This is where all of the ice and water streams are going to go. Well, we are very nearly done now. Let me show you a couple of the details of the redstone, because there isn't really too much to talk about here. It's all very basic stuff. So our items go down into this dropper. They go down again just because I figured putting a clock around here might interfere with some of this stuff. Probably wouldn't have actually, but anyway, that needs to be on subtract mode. So any item that comes into here is going to end up, alright, there we go. That was an easy choice. Getting ejected downwards. It's going to drop all the way down, and at the bottom there is some water, and you can see the items going along the stream like this. Now I've used ice, which means if we put torches around here it can melt, so I thought that we'd put in some redstone torches, and actually I like the lighting a lot. It's very moody in here. It feels like a dungeon now, and you can see that this tunnel is very, very long. So the trick here is that you've got the ice, and then you've got water on top of it to move the items along, and where the water stream ends, you create a half slab so the item can go underneath, and the water doesn't flow backwards. So that keeps the items moving all the way along this long tunnel, and we actually have like a giant ravine right here in the middle pretty cool, right? I'm actually going to cover all of this up. And so at the end of our ice stream, we have a couple of hoppers. This one here picks up the items, sends them through to that dropper, and then that's going to push the items up through the glass, because we got the same clock you saw a moment ago. Now the reason that I'm using glass is because I always like to know that this thing is here, rather than sending it through all of these blocks, which I realise, because we pillared down in a straight line, we can kind of see that all the blocks surrounding it are actually there, so it would work without, but if ever we're digging underground, I think it's a good idea to have the glass here so that you can see it and then be like, oh, that's the item elevator. So my problem now is that I'm actually running out of glass, so we've got to smelt out a little bit more. Well, job's done, but one problem, I'm stuck. I'm stuck up here, and I've got one ender pearl. Thank goodness for that ender pearl, because there's no way that I wanted to break any of this stuff up here, right? I mean, water and redstone, those two things don't mix, which is why I've used packed ice underneath. I didn't want to take any risks whatsoever of the ice melting and going all over this redstone. And I think the light level is probably low enough here, but like I said, don't want to take risks. So the items come up here, and there's no more redstone involved. They'll end up going through this water stream into the hopper over there and get sorted through all of the chests that we have on the side here. It's pretty fantastic, and you can see at the moment that we have a double chest of all of the wool, with exception to the green. I don't know why we're lacking on the green front, and the black one, of course, is from the Enderman prank that we did on Iskall. So now what I wanted to do was a test. I've got time to do an AFK session, so here I am, sharing them with my AFK profile. Now we'll see the items getting dropped down below. Excellent, they're going into the water streams, and because we're in the camera account, we can actually follow this all the way along. So here's the item elevator. They're going up that with no problems at all. I love this view, this is really cool. And then the last bit should be absolutely fine. They go into the water. They zip along into the hoppers, and now they're going to get sorted. So I did a test for a couple of hours, and absolutely everything is working just fine over there, which means we'll move on to something else now, and I'll show you what I've been up to, because I've been working on the Mobhead project again, really enjoying this, and now I can say that a room is finished, and maybe close to doing 2 rooms as well, as the nether room has been spruced up a little bit. Got many comments about some of the blocks I could have included in here. So yep, we got some glowstone, we got soul sand, and patches of the magma blocks down by the lava. Those little details make a world of difference in here, and we still got a couple more mob heads to get. I couldn't find a magma head and a blaze head, and I wanted to leave these here to remind me to go and get them. I don't have a zombie pigman head as well, but I've got an idea on how it is we could go and get one of those. So moving through here, you'll see that I put in a vex head into this room. I like it when the guy looks at you, but as you get closer, this half slab takes up more and more space. I've actually got an idea on how we could possibly fix that. Right, that'll push the slab into the guy's head. Ah, it's more visible now. However, I don't like that being cobblestone. Let's change that to dark oak. And let's get that out of the way as well. Excellent. Nice little touch. Also, it looks like this guy's hissing. That evil face and the tongue sticking out like that. I can hear a hissing sound every time I look at the guy. So, you'll see that the temple has changed over on that side. I think that's a much more accurate representation. And you can kind of see it leads through to another area there. And we got a village over on this side. So, nothing's changed over on those sides. But over here, got the dark oak forest. Threw in some bone blocks and the mushroom blocks over here. So, you can see a couple of those in the area. Got a piggy hanging out. And guess what? We can't go through here yet because there's cows back here. I've got to do some animal wrangling, move them all around to prepare that area for some rooms back there. We'll put in villagers, zombie villagers, all sorts of stuff. Just reminding myself as well that over here in the cave, I've just expanded this a little bit. We've got a slime head. I need to get a cave spider and a spider head in here. We've got an abandoned mine shaft. And I thought it would be cool if we just broke one of these blocks, put down a diamond ore, and got a little Steve in here doing some mining, because we need to put the Steve and Alex heads in as well. So the way that we could show this, I think we've got to put Steve's head on the diagonal. Yep, we can kind of see what he's up to, and then a little item frame on the side and an iron pick, and it's facing towards the diamond pick. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. And so then over in this room we have the desert that's going to lead to the next area, which will be like a snowy biome. Haven't started that yet, but you can see it leads down here, and then there's going to be a ton of space for us to work with. Man, I left this mob head lying over here, didn't I? I got some tidying up to do, man. These shulker boxes are piling up. I've got resources and materials to be sorted away. And yeah, speaking of cleaning up, there's also that face in the sky. And I feel like what this episode could do with right now is a little bit of music. You're probably thinking that time lapse was a lot fancier than you were expecting. Well, that's because I used the good old replay mod on that, and I think it has actually been working for a while. You see, I've been trying to do a few time lapses with that, and every time that I log in, it would give me this error about Forge, which is the mod program for replay mods. And then I kind of realised that I needed to update replay mod to 1.12.1, and I think that was actually why I couldn't log into the server with it, right? So a little bit of a derp, but I recorded a time lapse of that the other day, and it was also 1 minute long as well. That thing took about 5 minutes to render. The one I did the other day took 1 minute. I don't know what's up with that. But when it had finished rendering, I mean, it looked awful. There were all these weird green lines over the time lapse, and it was ruined. And I had to, in the end, just record replay mod itself doing the replay. So we ended up with a decent time lapse. I'm happy with it, and I can't wait to do more time lapses with that mod. It is amazing what you can do with it. You may have noticed, though, we're taking a stroll around to the back here. So, as you're probably aware, my storage system here is broken, and Cybot got in touch with me. He noticed what the problem was and pointed it out to me. I got a full block down here, and for some reason, I didn't seem to check this hopper, which is where the hashtag storage sticks are. This is supposed to be a half slab, and it is locking the hopper there, and I guess that means over time, slowly those sticks have managed to get caught inside of this hopper, and now they're permanently stuck there, so we can fix this thing. I've still been using it though. There are items in there, probably about 38 in total, filling up the slots where the items get stuck, and I've got a whole bunch of items that I need to sort out and store away as well. So let's get this thing fixed up, and that was kind of weird, wasn't it? So I've just finished doing a big sort of all the junk we had lying around here. It still takes a long time to go through and chuck all the items into the chests, but check it out. This was super easy to fix. All I had to do was put those storage sticks into the first chest over here, and that means that they would cycle through and replace all of the blocks in there that hadn't been sorted. So after all of that, we've now got loads of these shulker boxes ready for use over here. We've got a few more here that are full of materials that I don't know where to put because they're not going to fit into our ender chest. We've filled up all the allocated space over in those chests for them. Every now and then this is going to happen. You're going to end up with a bulk of materials and nowhere to put them. So I thought what we'd add in our base is a little storage area just for adding odds and sods. And also Ren gave me this as well. So I've got a ton of black concrete powder that I could go and put somewhere as well. So I figured around the back here there's a little bit of space, as so far what we've gone and done is just filled in every nook and cranny with something, right? And I think I'd be wise to perhaps create a little bit of an entranceway here. We're not actually using all of these systems to store items. We are storing some over here, but I never really added too much more than this as I wasn't sure what to add. And then I always end up just walking through this little gap here. So it feels like maybe what I should do is downsize this a little bit and make it more official. And then just in the back here, I figured we could break a couple of blocks on the ground, and then we could chuck down like purple and then put a chest above it and have all the purple stuff in there. Well, that looks a lot cleaner, I think, and whereas tidying up all of that, I got loads of shulker boxes out of this thing. Look how much stuff's just been lying around, needed to be sorted out. Craziness, crazy. And I thought we'd give these armor stands a little bit of armor as well. I was going to go with the diamond again, but I think we've used that in too many places now, so perhaps we'll go with regular leather And maybe even we dye them at some point. That'd be a cool idea. I don't know, but I think brown fits in there pretty snugly at the moment, and now we've got a proper entrance to this back area, and as you can see I've dumped in some chests for materials or things that we just end up with a lot of that we don't want in our storage system, like these potions that are just lying around everywhere, unable to be sorted. And we've got the same thing over on this side as well, so it's all been neatly tidied up. We just need to find a few more blocks to sort in these 4 spots. Remember earlier in the episode I said I had an idea on how to get a zombie pigman head? Well, it should appear in front of us anytime soon. That's not it right there. That's definitely not it, but that is. Does this look familiar? Does this remind you of Season 3 and Season 4 maybe? This is Iskal's Zombie Pigman Gold XP farm. Why have I got no more rockets? They're over there now. Okay. I want to use this thing. I figured this might be a way to get a zombie pigman head. We'll investigate that in just a second. I want to check out this thing. I don't think Iskal's actually ever done any work on this since he first introduced this idea. So, with Season 5 having our base on the Mushroom Island, I've just been thinking over and over again about all the different places that you could go and build a base. And I always like the idea of doing one in the Nether, but check this out. On top of the Nether roof, suspended in air like a golden quartz castle. Fantastic idea. Doesn't look like it's come along too far though. I think this is wonderful though. This is really cool, and I just wanted to check it out for myself. Let's grab a rocket and fly again. Bam! It looks awesome, doesn't it? Wow, that's going to be superb. I can't wait to see how that expands. Anyway, let's go up to this farm. I'm going to try and land on it somewhere, and I don't know. Okay, so we can't drop him through the top there. Maybe I'll pretend I'm a pigman and land on one of these floors. Hi. Best not to hurt anyone and punch them. Be very sure not to accidentally do that. So we built this concept on Season 3, which is when the concept first came around, and Season 4 as well. Iskal's one here, the platforms he's built on the outside are so much smaller. I think when I built mine, the distance from where you stand to the edge of this thing was bigger, and the distance from here to here. I mean, these things probably work with much smaller platforms, as we might be about to find out. Rest in peace, Magma Cube. That's another block I need to get ahead for. So, I've only seen this again in Iskal's videos. Haven't been over here. Why is there a shulker box there? I don't know. This is where you're going to stand, I guess, and hurt the zombie pigman. If we drop down, there's a bunch of sorting systems for different items. Can we actually see what's being sorted? Golden nuggets, rotted flesh, maybe? Aha, there's the filter, and then one extra on the end. Right, and they're probably where all the swords and stuff gather. Okay, so someone's emptied these. Whoever is here last has taken everything with them. There's a bunch of golden blocks here, that's pretty cool. Right, so I don't think there's too much else to talk about, unless there's something of interest here. Some storage. Oh, okay. Oh, and look at that. There's a zombie pigman head. There's a zombie pigman head up here, peeps. I'm not going to take it because it's not mine, but I think that's a good sign that this was a good idea. So if you remember how the farm works, there's a trick, or not a trick, a bug, or let's say a strange bit of code that makes these pigmen basically drop XP as if you were to hit the pigmen themselves when you aggress them. So, nope, I won't do that straight away. Let's turn down the volume because it's going to make an absolute racket, peeps. Let's harm one of these. No? You cool with that? Right, they're not cool with it now. Now, when we stand here, the pigmen are going to pathfind towards us, and you see they take damage straight away. You see these minecarts here are wobbling. I've actually got Optifine on. I can do a little bit of zoom, which is kind of weird right now, isn't it? Looks very strange. Yeah, they're getting crushed to death, or well, you wouldn't call it crushed, would you? The old entity cramming is taking care of these pigmen right now, and I believe that probably there's either hoppers underneath, or maybe even they have some hopper minecarts in them themselves. So now that we've done that, the pigmen are not still aggressive. There's one there that you capture, and I think you've got to throw a snowball at it. So they stay... Hang on. They're clearly aggressive there, but the rest aren't. New recipes have been unlocked. Hurrah! We've been playing with that update on for a long time, and apparently I've never picked up a snowball before. I borrowed one of Iskal's though. Yeah, you're already aggressive, so that was kind of pointless. So the rest of these aren't getting aggressive, which is slightly disappointing. And I don't think that's any fault of Iskal's and the way he's built this farm, because those ones there are aggressive. Or maybe it's because I didn't anger that one first that they now cause a problem. Jeez, I'm struggling to get my words out here. So that's interesting. This number doesn't go up when you use this farm. I thought it would be funny if that number was ticking up there in statistics. And yeah, I looked up the odds. It's 1 in 1,000 to get a zombie pigman head. Now, if we were using our looting sword, then it would be 3 in 1,000, I believe. Or actually, maybe 4, because each level of looting would add 1. And I don't know if holding it in your hand affects the drops. I may have myth-busted that in the past. I've been asked it many times. I've always wanted to know. And I probably have myth-busted it and just forgotten about it. So holding the sword might help. And since I'm going to spend some time AFK here, then I guess I might as well hold on to it anyway. This farm has another feature I almost missed. Swords. Check it out. Well, they're only on this side. They get smelted down into nuggets. And down the bottom here, there's a couple of shulker boxes. Look at that. Even more gold. As if you didn't have enough already, Iskall. You got to smelt down those swords as well, didn't you? Oh man, what a goofball I am. Every time I go and check the chest up the top here, it's empty and I'm thinking, man, what actually comes all the way to the end here if not a zombie pigman head? Well, if we look out the side here, it actually comes down further and goes into the shulker box. So imagine my surprise when I open this thing up and I'm like, oh, there's 2 zombie pigman heads. Wasn't there only 1 earlier? Well, there you go. I want to wear this thing. You know, I want to put this on and see what I look like. And one of them now. Oh, that's awesome. Home sweet home. And a home for this fella in the Nether. That right there is the spot for that head. Awesome. I love it. It's so cool. This project has been a lot of fun. It's been fun to expand it in today's episode. As you probably guessed though, that's going to be the end of it from me today. If you've enjoyed it, then leave a like. And yep, there's no poll. Sometimes I forget to do them. And I didn't have a question for you, so maybe the next one will have a poll. I always get a comment about that. Anyway, that's it from me this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.